What's up? Just start this episode off. Cut. You didn't hear that. Okay. No one heard our prologue to this episode. What are we doing today, James?
I'll just bleep that out.
Okay,
so start with episode 509. Some Ripe from White2Tea.
Cool.
Gina. I hope how you say that.
This is Gina.
Yeah.
12327B.
I think that's
Is probably slightly
some serial number thing.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna smell this.
Yeah, and the tea's all gone from there. So.
Yep. Smell the.
And I think I'm brewing the Bing hole, judging from how compressed this seems to be.
Wow.
So we'll see how this goes.
Very curious. Interesting. Quite young.
Yeah. Denny, would you say you are a ripe drinker year-round?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So ripe and black tea are kind of like your go-tos year-round.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, maybe even black tea less in summertime. Oolong's more in summertime than black tea.
Okay. So black tea is a little more seasonal then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Ripe is all year. Raw
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
All year.
So yeah, this is one of the. This is like not the fanciest white tea ripe, but it's also definitely fancier than your average ripe.
Wow.
So I think it's like something like $72 for 200 grammers. So it's that's kind of pricey for ripe, but it's not crazy either. Yeah.
Definitely get some tobacco smell on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually didn't smell it. So
Yeah, interesting. Very little fruit.
yeah. So you'll notice that I'm going to brew this a little differently, just because I think it is Bing hole. So I want to just give it a little more time to decompress there.
Smart.
So yeah, we'll see how this is.
Cool.
I did not read the description before, so this might be one of like the more lightly fermented ones. Judging from the color, I think that's a strong possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And when you say that, James, you're looking at the density or saturation of the darkness of the.
Yeah, more or less.
Right.
Yeah.
So redder versus orange, amber.
Yeah. Versus like just pitch black.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Cheerio.
Cheers.
Yeah. This is almost the same color as the food brick, actually.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Wow, so sweet.
It's such a contrast versus the raw.
I know.
I'm like almost like having to adjust.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I didn't expect it to be that extreme. Very silky texture, and that's something that pops out to me. But yeah, definitely much sweeter. Maybe that was the most notable thing about that UT is lack of sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. This does taste lightly fermented to me, and when I say that, what I mean is, and it's not a dig on fermented teas. Sometimes there can be just like kind of a funkiness, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of sometimes like that it'll brew out the first steeping or whatever, especially for ripes where they tend to like be aged in an accelerated manner in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I didn't know you got this tea from a fish factory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. And some of those teas can be incredible.
Yeah, obviously I think we are not people that are that offended by that. But, I mean, even still, it's like, if you tell me a ripe has a fishy aroma versus one that doesn't, I will take the one without the fishy aroma.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of tobacco in the smell on it.
Interesting.
Darker.
Okay. I mean, that's like definitely a case of lighter fermented, I would expect, because like you just don't expect like kind of anything tobacco smoky in a very typical average fermented ripe.
Yeah. This is nice. The core viscosity is really lovely. The texture is so good.
Yeah.
Easy drinking. This tastes to me like a really elevated daily drinker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I'd agree with that. Yeah. It's very. You could tell it's quality.
Yeah. Oh, the fruit on it's really nice. Some cherry on the nose, but not quite as much in the cup.
Yeah.
Yum. Keep hitting me, bruh.
Oh yeah. And teas like this, I think, are really easy to drink. I mean, ripe in general is one of the easiest categories for me to drink. It's just very smooth, and you don't need to worry about your stomach as much. Things like that.
Now, for me, this is really sweet and approachable, but the palate is a little bit odd, right? I mean, ripe teas are just different, right? People aren't used to drinking kind of like earthy, woody, branchy
Sure, yeah.
flavors, even if they have a molasses taste or some sweet fruits in there or something like that. What do you think? Would you think this would pass the mom test?
I think it probably gets as close as any ripe gets, but
Yeah.
just because this does have kind of like a complexity of higher noted aromas and flavors going on as well. But, it's still ripe at its heart, so I don't know. It kind of depends how much. What about you? Would you agree with that?
I think so too, yeah. I mean, to your point exactly, it's the most approachable of this profile. Is it a profile people are going to be able to approach regularly they've never had tea before? I don't really, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I love it, of course.
I mean, I would say it's a good one to try to introduce people to it, too.
Yes.
See if they'll like it.
Yes.
Just because it does have kind of that extra layer of profile. I would say this is probably too delicate for an ultralight thing.
Totally.
Its profile feels like a little more subtle and nuanced than, like, even the food, right?
I agree, yeah. It's too tasty. It's too nice to do something like that.
Yeah. Would you say tea nerds tea?
I think so, which is kind of funny because it's not like it's really, really complex.
Yeah.
It just is like an exquisite representation of young, ripe. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is one of those teas where it's like you give this tea to someone that like just pounds raw pu'erh, like, and doesn't have much ripe. And I wonder if they could see the same appeal, whereas you and I are both very regular ripe drinkers, so it's pretty easy for me to tell how this is pretty different from those.
Really, the texture is just incredible. And it's one thing that I look to with ripes in general, and this is just nailing it. Really viscous and thick. And you can see it too with the legs on the side of the glass, or when you're pouring it out the guy one. Really just tasty overall. Yum.
Yeah, I'll have to hang out for just a second.
How many steepings do you think this would go for?
I think a bit more than average.
Yeah.
Of a ripe. I think you'll probably start to lose a little bit of the nuance pretty soon. Mm-hmm. I would definitely pay closest attention to the first 5 steeps or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, the legs on this are incredible.
Yeah.
Really viscous and lovely.
Do you think this tea would evolve and change if you aged it? Because I think in theory it could, just because it is like a lighter fermented one. But it's like I have a hard time imagining what it would
turn into
10 years from now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, because you're not trying to age anything out of this tea. If anything, all the high notes are really present right now.
It's not very bitter either.
No,
so it's not one of those like lightly fermented
I
ones
wonder if what you would do to it, because it's not even... This tastes to me like it's best right now. Could you age this for a while? Would it make it better? I don't know. That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, someone will have to do it and let us know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would change the complexion of the tea quite a bit, and I don't know if I would want to do that with something like this.
Sure. Yeah, it's like one of those like Iwu teas. You really, really like its profile at the current moment, and could it change and potentially get better in 10 years? Maybe, but it's also really tasty now, so it's like, why take that risk?
I agree, yeah. Whereas some teas, plenty of ripe material we brought on the show, we're like, wow, this has lots of promise for the future. It's a little abrasive and rough right now. Sure. There's nothing to me that is strikingly needing to be aged out of this tea.
Sure.
And even then, there's also not really any funkiness or, basement fishy, anything like that.
Right. So it's one that it might just change the profile a bit, not necessarily age out negative aspects.
Right, yeah. And I wonder how it would, because I'm not getting a lot of like deep earthy minerally notes. I think it probably would just become a bit more of the kind of classic vegetable patchy sort of flavor profile.
Depending on how you aged it.
True, yeah. But again, with something like this that's already so light and like hits the perfect kind of elevated volume, it's not like this needs to be brought down in any way. So I wouldn't age this personally. This is amazing right now. In fact, I wonder what it would taste like when it was immediately pressed. So.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Because there's no fishiness or anything like that. Maybe it would have been. I also wonder, like, when you see the age on these ripes, too, it's like the year it was pressed, but the material itself could have been collected from years before. So I do wonder if, like, the material itself is a little more aged, too.
That's a good point. I'm not tasting a lot of age in the cup, so leads me to believe that probably not for too long.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But it's possible it's like 2020 to 2022 or something like that.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Nice. Yeah, this is great. I think this is a... Is it a tea nerds tea? I mean, tea nerds are going to love this. I think this is like a good... This is a good like intro to ripe.
Yeah.
Although you'll be kind of spoiled because not all ripes, especially like cheap ripes, don't have quite this
No, not
character.
nearly. Yeah. There's definitely something that this brings that you're not going to get in 95% of ripes, I'd say.
Right.
And I feel like this tea is kind of interesting because we brewed an Iwu tea here before, which I think is kind of known for subtlety and nuance. And I almost get more subtlety and nuance in this tea than that one, so it's kind of like they roll
strangely
over
enough,
slightly.
Totally.
Yeah.
Which is atypical of ripe because, again, ripe is kind of like artificially aged with, injected with...
It's like usually daily drinkers.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that's no dig on it at all. And that's what you and I are drinking every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is definitely a little bit elevated. Definitely, I think, bring this to a teen nerd friend.
And not get laughed at. Yeah, because, you bring a ripe to a teen nerd gathering and it's like, you're the outcast.
Yeah, how dare you? This isn't from 1962.
You're not getting invited back. You brought a modern dye. What the fuck?
White2Tea.
Yeah.
Check them out.
Yeah, bring that tea if you want to have friends.
Right. This is the 2023 Gina. Interestingly named for us Americans. This is really, really good. That's true.
I know. I can't help.
Gina? Like, who's Gina? Some white lady in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to all the Ginas out there I offended. Am I sorry? How many Ginas are out there? How many listen to this show? Comment if you're a Gina listening to watching TDB.
I think you may have offended no one. Good work.
Thank you.
No, that's right, Gina.
Someone's offended somewhere for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, pick this up. This is solid. Definitely, and I would not hold on to it. I would drink it fast.
Yeah. And you see, I just went on auto mode. I wasn't even intending to brew another one, but here you go.
Hit me. I want
but
more.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we do tea on this thing, so sometimes there's more tea content. I mean, technically it's always about tea, but sometimes it's more about tea than other times. That's for sure. So yeah, subscribe. Send this to your cat's stepdaughter's preschool teacher at animal school, farm school. Excuse me.
I think that's a narrower category than Gina's.
Possibly. Yeah, farm school. Send it to the farm school curriculum people that you know.
Killing it.
I don't know why. Subscribe to all the stuff. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. Cheese.